And what I like to do now is I'd like to introduce my two guests. And I guess we're going to go in through Enhanced NLP, which is your company. And this is Liz Beck and Jason Schneider.
Liz Becker.
Becker. You see,
you can call me Beck, though. That's okay.
And I tell you, Becker it is. Liz Becker, because I'm horrible with names, Liz. I'm just, when I coached for 20 years, they used to put the names on the kids' shirts on the uniforms because I couldn't remember it, so I gave them all big names. But Liz Becker it is. Enhanced NLP, and I know you have another company. We're going to mention that too, but I want to talk about Enhanced NLP because it deals with communication. And I want to set this up a little bit. One of the things that Scott has told everybody at noontime is that the way business is going right now, you want to change and enhance and do something different. We have to change what we're doing. If you don't change what you're doing and business is not going well, then what do you do? Maybe looking at some of the components, some of the things that you're doing and changing, making slight changes is an important aspect of making it in the business world right now. And this is Money Talk Radio, so we're about making money, helping you make money, and doing it in ways that are not difficult. And Liz and Jason are here to explain a little bit about one of the most key important aspects of the change of business, which is communication. So I want to say hi to you guys.
Hi, Freddie.
How you doing? Let's start with Liz. Why don't you tell us a little bit about Enhanced NLP?
Sure. So Enhanced NLP Training is a communication skills training school. And as you so cleverly mentioned, that in order to be able to advance in life, personally or professionally in business, we tend to sort of follow through with situations and get stuck and expect situations to change and get frustrated with it if we're not making enough money, if we don't have enough clients, all the areas where we're sort of stuck in business. And we somehow miraculously expect that the situation is going to change, that we can stay the same, we can keep doing things the same way, and that it just eventually will change. And yes, although change happens continuously, in order to be able to have more control of what we want changed, how we want it changed, what results we want to get, the first responsibility is to change ourselves, to figure out how we're communicating with ourselves, what changes need to be made in that communication, and then our communications with others. Because there's really two types of communications you're dealing with, internally and externally.
Okay.
And Enhanced NLP Training, which is our company, Jason and I, is NLP is neuro-linguistic programming, which we'll go into a little bit in a bit of what it is. And the tools and techniques of neuro-linguistic programming and Neuro-Semantics is exactly that. It's to be able to realize how you're creating representations in your mind, how you're communicating with yourself about your subjective reality, because that's what really it is, right? When you're talking to somebody not about the actual reality, but your representation of that reality. Okay. So once you understand how you do that, how your mind does that, and how you have the ability to change that, to put you in better states, to be able to understand other people clearer, to be able to clearly express yourself, it's a whole new world and possibilities.
So let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Let's say I'm a business person. I have a product, okay, that I want to sell. Mm-hmm. And I think it's, of course, I believe in my product because I wouldn't want to sell it if I didn't. Mm-hmm. Then you have to sort of change your way of thinking, because from what I'm gathering, you're telling me is you have to understand how your product is going to be perceived.
Sure.
Correct?
Absolutely.
So this is some of the training that you help people with?
Absolutely.
This is what you're doing. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how that benefits somebody who's starting out new in the business, and then we'll talk about how it benefits somebody who's been 5 years in the business and is struggling.
Sure. Well, if you have a product, obviously you like this product. That product means to you something. You have this representation of that product, and that's based on a lot of things in your mind, which we go into detail of how you create that. So people tend to sell their own goods based on how they feel about the goods, based on what that product means to them, how it's affected them in their life. And that's great because it's going to resonate with people that maybe represent it the same way that you do. But if you want to target a larger range of people, if you really want to promote this product in a way that it'll be flexible for other people that aren't in the same situation as you to benefit from, then you're going to have to do something about that. You're going to have to understand how you've represented it. You're going to have to use different tools and techniques to be able to market this product so that people that are not like you are going to like it and want to purchase it.
I wanted to ask you, who do you think would benefit? If I have a business that's been 5 years and it's not doing very well, or it could be doing better, because anything could be doing better, what would you recommend to these people? Why, you look at the whole overall situation, but what would you recommend them to?
Sure. Definitely, when something's going wrong, if you are not doing something right, you're not getting the results you want, you have to start off with yourself, as I mentioned before. So to do, for example, a training that we offer, Communications Essentials training, that teaches you, again, to focus on what it is that you're doing wrong. It was interesting what you mentioned before about the creativity and technology today. And I think we've sort of leaned into a society of just ease and comfort. We're just trying to be comfortable. We're trying to do everything easier, quicker, faster. A lot of times when that happens, the quality diminishes.
Exactly.
Our focus sways to different areas rather than really focusing on what we should be focusing. And it doesn't mean that something has to be hard to be good, but in order to really get a clear representation, your focus has to lie on certain areas where right now we're being distracted. There's so much going on, media, internet. I mean, communications now. There's so many different venues and avenues to be able to do that. And people, I think, are becoming a little bit lazy. And that's where the frustration comes into play. Because we try to do things quick. If we don't get the result that we want, we get frustrated. We get frustrated instead of moving forward and trying to realize what it is that we're doing wrong in our communication. We just move on to the next thing.
Yeah, that's interesting because in the radio business, we do multiple shows. We produce a lot of shows in the Beasley broadcast chain. And a lot of the people that we do, they come in not realizing that they're going to do a production of TV and radio. So they come in, they don't dress the part sometimes. We have to redress them, ask them to go change in the bathroom. But they don't realize that you can actually see what you're doing. And, I've been a coach, like I said before, 20 years. I've done semi-pro football, and one of the things that we used to do is we had video, and in video you see your mistakes. It's like in anything, training, school, teaching. So when you show them the video of them on the air, they go, oh my goodness, I'm horrible. And that's the problem. And it all begins with understanding that you're going to communicate to your audience how lack of prepared you are. And when I read the material from your website, which we should give in a second, I got the feeling that you guys really have it well covered, and there's no air bubbles in here. It's solid, and it's really meant to focus. I guess that's a great word on communication, which is important to business. I mean, that's really what it's all about.
Sure.
In any market, whether it's sports, radio, TV, anything. Why don't you give us that website that they can get more information on?
It's www.enhancednlp.com. That's ENHANCED NLP.com. You can find out all about our courses, our upcoming. We have a training coming up from June 8th to the 15th.
I want to talk a little bit about that.
Sure. Yeah. And also there's some great content on there, some articles that you can read to understand neurolinguistic programming and neurosemantics better. And we invite everybody to come to our site.
Excellent. Liz Becker?
Becker, B-E-C-K-E-R.
I tell you, I'm horrible with names. Liz
You
Becker.
may change that if you come to our training.
No, I would never do that. I'm sorry. Liz Becker and Jason Schneider here from Enhanced NLP. And the number here is 888-721-0074. If you have a business, we'd like to hear from you. We'd like to hear if you're doing well. Maybe you can help us understand and give more information as to what you're doing well. As opposed to if you're not doing well, give us a call. And we'd like to help you out a little bit. Liz, let's get into the training session that's coming up, because I know you guys are excited about that. Tell us a little bit about when that is and what's going to go on there.
Sure. It's an 8-day intensive training. It's from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. And it's actually a certification training to be an NLP practitioner, which can open up so many possibilities for people within themselves, in their industries, in their businesses. It's an unbelievable training for someone, again, that wants to learn tools and techniques to be able to do three main things, and which are the biggest limitations that we have, which is to be able to gain control of your emotional states, to be able to understand people better, and to be understood better. So those are the three areas really that cause problems in business. And you'll find that whether someone's not selling someone, if someone's having conflict with their staff, if they're having problem hiring someone, in all areas, it usually falls into one of those three categories that's causing the problem for themselves.